Yeah, and we're live. Welcome to another episode of the First Division podcast. And this is a very special edition because it's Boxing Day. It's just after Christmas. And Drew, what the fuck is going on, man? How was your Christmas?
Yeah, I didn't do really too much, dude. How about you?
Yeah, no, we didn't do too much either. We were just chilling and spending time with family, man.
Christmases have gone downhill like this over the years. Sad to say.
Did you get what? Did Santa bring what you wished for?
Yeah. I'm good.
No.
How about you?
Nice, nice. That's always good. So I like Christmas because Christmas is a good time to spend with family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Especially when, I guess if you don't see them too often, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it kind of more special.
Yeah, I guess it does.
Yeah.
Or
So
you get you then you re- or you re- why you're not around so much. Just kidding.
that's also a good point.
Someone
You
had
want-
Dude. Someone had my godfather posted the funniest fucking thing. He said, first rule of thumb. First rule of thumb: when you go to family functions, bring your own car so you can leave whenever. You know, like if you ever used to go to with your parents, and then people would be acting like stupid or like you're okay, and you're like, I'm ready to go. Like the older you get,
Yeah.
it's just like I can just bounce whenever,
that's
make some shit up and take off.
that's a pro life hack.
That
You're like,
funny most of that.
yeah, you're in the middle of a conversation. You're like, yeah, I think it's time for me to go.
I gotta go.
Yeah, I'm out.
No, you know
Just,
what? Like
you know,
I kind of realized that over the years too. Like, how you don't see when you had family gatherings. Your family gatherings, were they very big or were they very small? Or was it usually just your parents and your sister? Like, how was it? You know?
It was very small. It was just me, my sister, my parents, and my grandparents. And then after they passed away, it was just our family. So it was very small.
That's kind of like how my family's kind of been, except for like if my grandma, so my mom's sisters or sister or brothers come down, shit like that, from Colorado or whatever, then it'll be more so of a big festival thing or whatever, a big festivity or. But all that shit's trash, dude. Because like I don't know, families are weird, bro. Weird, dude. Like no,
Yeah,
everybody's like competing with each other. But you know what? Okay, I did read something yesterday. That just brought it to me. I saw something about Jim Carrey. You know, like how this Jim Carrey people think he's crazy and stuff, but realistically, he fucking is more. He's just more spending time in nature and stuff like that, and staying away from people. And he was saying he wants to go back to nature because when he came back, he realized how crazy people are because
right.
and emotional problems, and fucking because people don't take time to work on themselves. So it's like that's true, dude. Every time I go to a family thing over the years and years and years, it's just like, man, dude, it's just like some of these. I don't say anything, ever. It's just I think about it after, but it's like, damn, some of these people have the biggest problems. Not that I don't have my own, but like, it's just the same shit every fucking year, fool. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
It's like
Just
well, families are kind of like it's like a bunch of strangers coming together and calling ourselves a family, kind of. You know what I mean?
even though like you're blood related, that doesn't mean shit, dude. I don't. I would rather. I call someone family, not family over like my mom and my dad, but family if like we're super close and like almost like a brother, you know? Like I thought my best friend I grew up with was like that and turned out not to be. People change over time. I get it. I'm not low hard feelings, I don't even care, but I keep it I'm pretty loyal, dude, and like that's just what I realized over there. I was too loyal to like people that weren't loyal to me or didn't even really care about me. They only came around when they needed something, which is fine. I don't care, but I needed to shift my energy going towards my other people. Because I was always drained, dude. It's like I got nothing to give, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
That's
like,
crazy,
well,
huh?
see, well, no, it's not crazy. I mean, going back to, like, I think because people kind of lose that kind of, like, for example, going back to the Jim Carrey, like, remember when he had his Dave Chappelle show? He was on top of the world basically in comedy. He still is. He's like the king of
Huge.
comedy. But
Yeah.
and then they,
Yes.
but everybody, have you noticed now that he has came back, since he's came back, that everybody only talks about that one issue when he quit and went to Africa to just kind of chill and relax and think about life? When they say, "Oh, he turned down a $50 million deal, he's crazy." Well, I don't think that's so crazy. He wanted to get back to his original self, build up his personal character, and then come back stronger than ever. I think he saw the game, if you want to call it, and for what it is, and he wanted to get out of it, and he did. So what's wrong with that? That's not crazy. That's just working on yourself. That's
That's what. Yeah,
okay.
and a lot of people don't do that, right?
No. A lot of people get see, and that's kind of the problem, because everybody sees that dollar figure. They see that big money deal, and then all the people care about is that money deal. And wow, so who can turn down such a deal like that? Well, it's somebody who didn't want to sell their personal morals and values for money.
Yeah, and there's some people out there like I'm kind of like that. I'd rather make half the money than and live chill and live. I don't need to make $1 million. Man, I don't know, man. I really don't. I don't want to make. I don't want to make lots of money to where the things that are the small things that really mean a lot of things in life are taken away or overcome, or like overlooked. There you go. Sorry. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think what it is like, for me, I want to make enough money where I don't have to worry about the small details. I can just live my life comfortably. Now, and I think with with Dave Chappelle, with that money figure, he would also be comfortable. Of course, that's clear that you would be comfortable living with that type of money. But it also comes with a different type of responsibility. Like you're working with corporations and commercial clients, and
Yeah, it's
you're
stressful as fuck.
yeah,
Super
exactly.
stressful, dude. Like
It's kind
you
of
don't want
getting
to deal with
like
that.
your life is kind of getting out of control at that point for that, in that type of category of money, I think. And if you're just making enough money where you don't have to worry about if you're going to pay your monthly bills, you know I think that's a pretty good lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like
Dude,
you don't have to.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I would like to do. Have
Yeah,
pay
I
your
think that.
monthly bills and like you could go to the store and buy what you want every day if you wanted to. I don't mean it like that. I'm just saying if you wanted to, you could go spend $5 and buy your favorite candy bar every day. I'm not saying fucking anything else. I'm saying one thing. If you could buy one thing, if it's a water, you wanted to buy your favorite water every day, like that kind of luxury. And then
Ru-
have tank in your gas, but you're not driving excessively. You're not driving all over the place. And then you pay your bills. Maybe you have an extra grand or maybe an extra grand, $500 to a grand that you, and then you go on a vacation every couple months or every 6 months or something. That would be perfect, dude. And I'm not talking extravagant vacations. I'm talking like maybe 6 months you go to Mammoth, or maybe you go up north, or maybe you wait a year and then you go overseas. Something like that, you know what I mean? That would be good to me. I'm talking not going out spending your money on all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like smart, dude. Like doing what
yeah,
you're supposed to
basically.
do. Sticking to the
Yeah,
script.
you just want to have a nice, like, uh you, I was thinking about this the other day. You want to have a salary or a type of income that allows you to at least, like, if you want, like you said, like if you want to have a nice, if you want to go to a restaurant like once a week, or or once a month, or you want to go to the theater or to the cinema, or and you pay, you pay your bills and your dues, and then at the end of the month you still have a little bit of money in your savings account that you can work for something bigger, or save for something bigger, and still like you're not struggling. You're still kind of living paycheck to
Yeah, you're
paycheck.
still living life.
Yeah, you're living life. You're still living paycheck to paycheck, but in a different way because your paycheck is able to afford all those things. And then at the end of the day, you still have a little bit of, you could still have fun. You could still take care of what you need to take care of. And at the end of the month or year, you still have money saved in the bank. That's a pretty comfortable living. I think that should be
See,
ideal.
that'd be perfect. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
perfect, right?
right.
I
Because,
think that'd be
yeah, exactly. So if you have to take, because look, if you want to buy something bigger, like for a house, right? Uh, to have that type of cash to buy a house on hand,
most people
you
take
don't usually have
loans.
that. Yeah, you have to take a loan. But if you have some money saved up, you can use that money that you've saved up to go towards
Put
your
a down
loan. And
payment.
yeah, exactly. And I
Or
was
you do a down payment and then you just make payments.
right,
Well, I guess
exactly.
you still get a loan, right? Wait, yeah, because you have to get a loan to pay.
W-
Or you make
They,
monthly payments and you put down so much.
it's
You can put
advised.
down 3% now, dude.
3% is kind of a lot.
What do you mean, 3% of a $500,000 house or something, or 250, $300,000 house? That's not a lot. That's only a couple grand. But like maybe like 10 compared to, uh, I thought it was like 20%. If you put down 20%, then like you don't get taxes and certain things.
20% is also a
Where
lot. I mean, if you buy if
twenty
you buy
percent is a lot. If you buy fucking 300,000 house, like 50 grand, 40 grand down. It's a
yeah,
lot.
exactly. That's a lot. I mean,
Dude,
and
I don't even think. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting you off.
no, sorry. Yeah, no, yeah, don't worry. We're talking over each other, but that's okay.
No, we should stop that. Let's finish or whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. So I'll let you finish.
I think I want to buy a house, and then I think that the only reason for me, I think the only reason I want to get a house is so I know that I have somewhere that I can always rest my head. Like if I buy something, and then any of the money that I put into the house is not wasted money. You know what I mean? Compared to put it in, but then renting, you can save more money and stuff. You don't have, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to put all that money down and then be stuck in a house. So I don't know. Like that's what I'm kind of stuck. Because then there's people that rent
I'm
forever, but then you don't always want to be renting, so or renting. So it's like I don't know.
well. That's kind of the question, right? Because if you're, that's the question that we're kind of stuck in too. Because if we're renting, then it's not yours, right? I mean, even if you're a long-term renter, it's not your thing, right? You want to own something, right? So, but if you're going to own a house, you want to make sure that that house that you're buying is going to be the house that you can see yourself at least living in that place for 5 or more years.
But you can make anything happen. It doesn't have to be like that. Like I mean, don't get a shack, but dude, that's what I'm saying. Most people are like fortunate, and then they want more and more and more. So it's like I understand you want to get what you could see yourself living in, but like, dude, well, I don't know how many other places, countries you've lived in or whatever, but I've lived in places where fuck, I barely had just a room, a shower, and a fucking small for months. You know, that was where I lived, and then so like I never really settled in. You know.
Did you get that feeling that like, okay, this is good for this amount of time, but this living situation, I don't see it as a sustainable living situation for long term.
I just looked at it as at the time, like how I'm doing for what I do now. I just look at it for like it's just a place, a meaning to an end. So it's like I'll knock this shit out. I'll sleep on the damn couch if I have to for fucking a long time until I get to where I need to be, dude. You know what I mean? Like for soccer, like I wasn't complaining about that. I was there for soccer. I wasn't there to sleep on the nicest bed or have the cleanest room or the nicest room. I was there to have a shower. I was there to have a bed there for soccer. So that was, you know.
But if you were there like yeah, I completely understand. But if you were there for like a longer period of time, would you want to eventually move out of that place and get like a different place for yourself? Is what I'm
I
getting
don't
at.
know. At the time, well, I did always pretty much have a place to myself. I got lucky. They always put me up in my own. Well, actually, stuff. I chose not to at the end. Remember, I told you I chose not to. I stayed in Nuremberg. I said I could
Yeah.
have signed with the team and stayed out in Bamberg and out there. Dude, it was like check times 10. Like there was nothing, bro. Like nothing. It was just super small town. Nothing. So you would have been training every day, go to practice, and then like just be chilling at home every day. And you would have a
Yeah.
small ass apartment. But that's what I signed up for. I should have done it, dude. I was being a pussy, you know. That's what you
But then
do to get to where you need to be if you're that good. Not saying I was that good. I'm just saying if you're that good.
Yeah, I understand. No, the reason why I'm asking, I mean,
you find out.
Yeah, you find out exactly. So, I mean, if you were living in that, I didn't hear it, Vanberg, for example.
Bamberg.
Vanberg.
Bamberg.
Yeah, and Hamburg. Yeah, Hamburg. Yeah, that's a big city.
No, B with the B. Bamberg.
Bamberg.
It was the team. Yes, SV Memmelsdorf was the team.
Oh, I see. Well, anyway,
fifth division.
If you were on that team, could you imagine if you bought a house there? I mean, could you imagine yourself living in a house in that place? Do you know what I mean?
Well, dude, I'll tell you, the manager was from Oklahoma. He bought a house from there. He was from the United States. He ended up moving there. He owned a business. He was rich, dude, and he fucking was a manager of our team. Didn't know much about soccer. I'm a manager. But his son was like one of the trainers or played on like the 8th division team, and he lived there, dude. And I went to his house. He had to sit in the middle of like nowhere, and I'll never forget. He wanted me to spend the night. He wanted me to spend the night because we had a team thing, and I didn't go in there for me, dude. Because like I should have gone. I was trying to be a part of the team, really, no. But he wanted me to spend the night at his house and everything. But dude, he lived out in the middle of nowhere. I'm telling you, it was nice. It was beautiful. But I'm talking like you had to drive. Like you're driving when you're driving on the freeway. You're driving through the woods, dude. And like a 2-lane freeway. You're driving through. You know what I mean?
I know that situation.
It was dope. I mean, yeah, it was dope. But he lived a little more outside with a lot more like amenities. If you were like farmland, and I'm talking small, super small towns. One street that goes into a couple buildings, and that's the town.
Yeah. You know? I know that situation. There's plenty of them here in Czech Republic.
Oh man, can you hear me?
I know the house is sick, but I mean, he's a different situation because he owns the club or he manages the club. So you know, it's also different.
Is that what it was?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't like. See, if I was a manager of a club, then I would, definitely live where the club is, probably or close to it. But if I was if I was a random player, I don't know if I would buy a house there. Do you know what I mean?
Wait, if he was manager, he owned the club, or he was the club? Because I think they always had different manager at that time. But
so he was the owner, kind of.
Is that what?
I don't know.
He worked with the academy. He really liked me, but the other guy saying that was good, that was forward. He was the one that more really didn't have anything. Right. Not even really like too much of a family there for him. So like he kind of took him under his wing, and he was like open to me too. But I didn't really want to bandwagon or be like brown nosing or spending the night there, and like I had my own money and my own stuff, so like that's just how I felt. I didn't really want a handout, dude. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want a handout. That's just what it was.
Did it feel like you were getting a handout from him, or
like Sane was getting more treated better than me? That he was a goal scorer, and they thought he was gonna. He was gonna bring. He was gonna help the club a lot, and he helped the club, but. I don't know, man. I just one of those things where like someone's putting their hand out and you're kind of like nah, and then they kind of get standoffish after that from you. That's how Mike was. Like he was there for me kind of a lot, but I kind of fucked him over. just certain things, dude. And it's been, you know me, dude, being stupid and
Yeah.
not following through with things, or like getting upset, not writing it out. And if I would have wrote it out, like if I would have wrote it out, dude, I would have been playing the whole season, the end of the season, and all the big games. But instead, I was being hard headed.
Oh, that
That's
happens,
okay.
man. That
Yeah, it's
happens.
all good.
But I mean the like for example the many like for example if I was going to live because I look at into myself like inner self like I want to improve myself all the time, so like this is mm, kind of like a long-term short-term living situation, if you know what I mean. Like right now it's good for us at the moment, but down the line in the future, this place is not big enough. We need to have our own place, and we have to find a place that is, you know, able to sustain us for a future living. I, I want to upgrade. I have that in myself that I want to upgrade. I want everything to be upgraded. I have that. Definitely, I have that. I don't want to go smaller or to downgrade. Or if I have to, I will, and I will make it work and survive. But I can't see that as a sustainable way of living. I need places that we can be sustained, a place that we can have a future with. We need to have we to have a garden, to have dogs, to have space for dogs, to have space for pets, to have space for our things, that you naturally get by living. It's better to upgrade if you can, if it's possible.
No, I agree. I was gonna say I don't have a lady though, so I can do. I already have a house, so I'm doing pretty well. I've had a house 5 years compared to people that when
That's
they
pretty
first
good.
apartment.
That's a good asset to have, to have a house.
Isn't that good on your record for five? Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because it shows that you're able to sustain living in the same place for a certain amount of time. You know what I mean?
And I've never missed a bill or late. I think I was late on my water bill, but it wasn't my fault because they fucking changed the dates like that sometimes. So I miss like once or twice late. That's it. Never miss my electric. Never miss my gas. Always pay my Spectrum, which is my internet. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah, and those.
solid with all that stuff. So once I can get ahead on all that, then I'm gonna be like sitting pretty. Then I'm gonna really be able to enjoy life, dude. Because I have not been enjoying life these last couple of years. I am not gonna lie. I'm not. Every day is the same shit for me. I wake up, I work out, then I'll chill, watch a or I talk to you, or I'm working on projects and shit. Then I take the dogs out again at night, and then it's whatever I got. If I go play or something, or then I work out again at night, or then I have to water my babies again. It's insane.
Yeah, Have you seen any like progress like after the 2 years? Like you see that there's going to be some light at the end of the tunnel, or?
Yeah, I do, dude. I'm getting a room going or whatever. I'm about to get it. The guy comes over today to finish it. He's not coming
Nice.
until 12 actually, so we got time for a
Nice.
little while. And then, yeah, you know what, dude? I'm glad you asked that because I guess I am.
That's
Yes,
always
I am.
important that you see something. Yeah. That that's always important that you see something that your hard work is a little bit paying off. You know what I mean?
Well, dude, it's like I don't know. I should have done this a long time ago. I should have hopped into this before soccer, but I really didn't want to miss out on the traveling and the playing, even if it wasn't for me. If I would have been doing this a long time ago, I would have been like one of those guys balling when I was young. And rolling up and stuff, selling stuff, and then they were all clinics first opened up. You didn't smoke, so when clinics first went, like medical clinics, you'd have these kids that were like 18, 19 roll up in Mercedes, BMWs. Like, how the fuck is this fool driving that, dude? It's because these guys are doing their thing, at that time.
Yeah, they caught that wave, that early
I've
wave.
never, yeah, yeah. So think about them. if they didn't get in trouble or anything, and they didn't go too big, and they just kept it chill but made their money, think about it now. And they saved enough money, they got even a probably bigger spot now. Probably doing
Yeah,
it crazy,
they're probably
dude.
they're probably having meetings in boardrooms and things like that.
Dude, that could have been me, but I was too scared to. I was too scared of my parents, like because my mom is so strict, or not strict, but just like so old school. She's actually super cool, dude. She just need to explain it, and then them see it, and then all that. So I wasn't willing to do that when I was super young, and I was super willing to like really go off on my own and do it. Then I was more just selling it, making money, and playing ball, kind of like living the life. And then if I would have just jumped into that, it would have been a whole different story. I think about that sometimes.
Yeah, but it's still out there. The opportunity is still out there.
No, I'm not saying. I know I'm still getting it cracking. I don't mean that, but I mean like
Yeah.
it would have been a whole different life. That's all. I want to play it and got to see the places I did. Maybe later in life I would have got to travel, but it wouldn't have been the same experience.
Well,
Dude, when you play a sport and you're in the community, it's totally different, dude. You get to meet all the players that have lived there or that live there, and you actually get to get in the culture compared to just traveling and going in sightseeing and fucking going to restaurants and doing gay shit. Like that's the luxury of traveling. That's not the actual traveling or actually getting in there and grinding and fucking that lives there and going into Spain. Or I'm not even saying for me, I'm just saying that was my experience for that. But that's you get the most out of that because you're staying there the longest and you're meeting all types of people, and you have to because you have to put yourself out there to see what's going on if you want to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're experiencing the culture kind of through the way that people who live in the country that you're visiting, but you kind of have to live the kind of culture that the people live in those different types of countries. So you get a different kind of perspective. Like you have to go to the supermarket, you have to find out where that is, you have to find out where the banks are, you have to find out where, when you're a tourist and you're just enjoying traveling, you don't have to worry about where any of that stuff is because you're going to restaurants, you're at the hotel, you're at a different, you're at the sightseeing tours and things like that. You're doing a different thing. But if you're traveling and you're staying with families and you're trying to actually make something out of playing a sport or for a job or for work, you have to kind of you have to embrace the culture a little bit and try to live the life that locals live in that particular country. It's different.
Yeah, way different.
Yeah, so
Well, and then like
experience.
it's like someone coming over here. This is a perfect way to put it. It's like someone coming over here from another country, and then they're just starting to like break into like over here, kind of. I guess you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like no friends, no anything. You kind of have to like you go to school and then maybe start meeting some people, maybe, and then that leads you into meeting more people or something. Like it just depends what you do over there. You had something, so like we always had soccer, so we had something. But if we didn't have that, then I would have been doing so much more. But I remember me and Hugo played football with the locals and stuff, and we were waiting to find a team. They were telling us that we play every day, dude, for like hours. We go down there and we play on these little courts. And these kids are good, dude. Some of these kids were so good. And then they said, like we were told we were trying to find a team, and they said that they hoped that we did or whatever, and that we were good players or whatever. And then we stopped going because we ended up getting that academy. But it was like, it's like what kind of experience you like? That's what I'm saying. Like that's just crazy, dude. Those days. Waking up with nothing to play soccer? Are you serious? That's insane.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We're so blessed, dude.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if that's all you have to do for that. I mean, that is a blessing, man.
Dude. That's what I was so spoiled and like didn't take that. Like I trained hard, but I didn't train as hard as I should have been. I should have been training all day, every day, and I should have been fucking not smoking, and I should have been not hanging out with most people. I should have been honest. If I would have been doing that, I would have gone super like you too, dude. You would have gone so far too.
Yeah,
you would have gone so far.
for sure,
Me
for sure.
or you and I would have gone super far if we would have had right, I guess the right guidance or like the right team that we would have
I
got on
would
the
say
right team. Or
I would say guidance. I would say guidance because I we didn't know what to do basically. We were kind of lost on our own, and we were
and
just
that
finding.
downtime kills it. It
Yeah,
kills you.
exactly. Yeah. But that's
All
okay.
those
That's old history. I don't regret it. You know, I don't. I'm starting a new project, with this podcast, so it's fine,
no,
man.
yeah, no, I don't regret it. That shit was fun, dude. I'm just saying, like, it just made me realize how like grateful I am or whatever. Because like I'm lucky where I'm at now, But just
Me too.
those those days of waking, that shit's crazy, dude.
Yeah, if you look back at it, man, those days waking up and all we had to do is go and kick the soccer ball around, man. Those were the days.
Well, you're just training for the day, and then you rest the rest of the day or whatever you had to do, and then it was like game day or whatever on the weekend. But that's all.
Yeah,
You were always looking because you were always trying to better yourself to try to play better or rest up for the next game or whatever. Great.
yeah, exactly. And that's the time. I'm glad you brought that up. These times when yes, we were very blessed to do that. And we were very blessed to put in those hours of training and all those things. But those are the days where that's the time when most of the people uh, come in and try to knock you down. You know what I'm saying? Those are the time where you get the most criticism. Because my point is, I think people want to be things without knowing what the kind of work has to be put into it. So, for example, you want to be a professional footballer. Okay, great. Be a professional footballer, but you have to put in perspective that it, I can't just decide that and then I'm going to be playing at the Bernabeu. You know what I mean? Like the next day.
Yeah.
It takes years and years of training, luck, skill, right time, right place. It takes a lot of things that a lot of people don't see the actual background of it, and that's kind of like a shame. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. I've gotten to see the ins and outs of that. So have you. But
Yeah,
through all those different teams, different countries, different academies, like whatever, like shit's grimy as fuck, dude. And then some of these kids think they're gonna like go so high up and pro and realistic, and it's like, I'm not the one to tell them. I'm not a better person than them to tell them that. But it's like I don't know, man. It's kind of sad, dude.
it's kind of living in delusion,
Realistically,
kind of.
if you're not in an academy when you're younger, if you're not in a good academy or something, you're not going anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure not, because you don't get the exposure. That's what's great about academies and kind of the downfall about academies, because they have to be good. The first point of it is it's like if you're part of academy that's good, they will able to guide you in the right direction of how you can progress yourself in your career as a footballer. If you get into one, just if you just go to an academy that doesn't help you with that, then it's just a waste of time and money.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but it's like when you're like in high school or whatever, and you're starting a rock band with your friends. You're like, you think it'd be cool? Let's make a band, right? So, and you want to be rock stars. Great, be a rock star, but you got to put in hours of practice. Number one, two. That's kind of like it's like a catch 22. Is if you sign, for example, with Warner Brothers label, they get you the exposure, they get you the concerts, they get you the record deals, and you'll make lots of money, and you'll be professional musicians. But on the other hand, you're gonna have to lock in like a 6-year contract with Warner Brothers that is very hard to buy out, and you're basically stuck. You know what I mean? So it's like what are you supposed to do? So on the one hand, it's like good, and on the other hand, it's like a bad thing.
In that time, you have to push out so many albums and stuff as well, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. You know, uh, it's
So,
like it's tough, man. But when you get to that level, I mean, you're talking about professional meetings. You're operating at a whole different level than when you're playing or doing something as a hobby or as an amateur.
yeah.
It's completely different, and you kind of accept that because you
No,
you know what you're getting yourself into.
yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Uh, you know,
That's why fucking not everybody makes it, dude. There's lots of people that play soccer,
yeah, for
Even
sure.
to play, even to play like I don't know. I've been fucking lucky that I got to play fifth division in Germany. To be honest, I don't know.
Especially if we're
You
if
were
we're
lucky. You were lucky. You got to play against what's it called, the Prague team. Uh,
yeah, Slavia.
the baller ass. Yeah, like
Yeah, for
we've
sure.
been all lucky to play against somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
Or do
sure.
something.
You got a little taste of what it's like to play at that level, or what it is that these players experience.
I could have gone to like fourth if I would have put because I was doing well in fifth or whatever, or I would have done well. I would have probably gone to fourth, but I don't know how much higher than that. You would have to stay there for a couple of years and see what was going to really happen and really put in the work. I mean, I would have to put in work and do nothing else.
Yeah, and you would have to
But
probably you would have to live there. You would have to live there and
for
and
sure,
spend a couple excuse me seasons with that team.
it would have to be worth it. It'd have to be a good team. They'd have to care about you, and not just a team where you're just like, what's the point of if it's the same in fifth division, but you're getting paid more, but you're not getting like any like better trainers or better, you know what I'm saying, better quality stuff. If you want to become a better player, you don't want to just
Well,
move up and get paid more. You want to get all around the better training and everything, so you can become a better player to get paid more, not
you
just
you
get
would
stuck at that club.
exactly. You would have to see the club progressing. That's like the administration. You would have to see like the administrators, the owners, the managers. They're actually putting in time and money into actually progressing the club, and you can see that the club wants to. They have
Look,
ideas of progressing. Okay, you got promoted to the higher division. Great, fine. But you see like players coming in, you see like coaching staff, coming in, you see like I don't know, they want to build stadiums, they're getting promoted more on social media or something like that. You would have to see the club progressing as well, not just you.
dude. Okay, so check this out. This is how boring. This will put it in perspective for you. This is how boring Bamberg was, dude. The one that guy singing I was talking about, he ended up moving up to fourth division, and he was playing on that team for like a year or whatever. It was so boring there that he ended up getting a gambling problem, and he was
Uh,
going to the casinos right there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. And he was betting on games all the time. I remember all the places you could walk by, and you could just walk into those like I'd go downtown sometimes to store like do whatever. I was doing my own thing sometimes. Some of the kids would come with me or some of the other players or whatever, dude. And I'd just do my thing and there's all these you'd walk by and there was these I don't know if they have it in Czech, but it's like live bet and shit like that where you can go
yeah,
inside and then you can bet and it's just guys smoking cigarettes and cigars and they're just sitting around watching games and there's different games and you can bet on them.
yeah, yeah.
Are you
They
laughing
exist
because I'm
here,
explaining it perfectly or what?
right? Yeah. It's always these like sleazy
Explain
guys.
it. Yeah, explained it to the T, right? And they
Right.
always look at you all funny. It's like just fucking white boy from America or whatever. But I don't know. I kind of blend in, so maybe they didn't look at me like that. But whatever. So like, it's just
Yeah, but
funny, dude, because like
but you're the new guy coming into the shop.
for sure they're probably like, who's this little prick? You know what I mean? As they
Yeah,
smoke their
exactly.
cigar and give you the same guy. It's like what the hell? It's like what? It's like smoke your cigar, dude. Let me just watch this game real quick. But
Yeah, yeah,
that fool
exactly.
he got all addicted to that, dude. That shit tripped me out because this guy was a good, smart guy. Like he didn't have any like weird problems. So that's what I'm saying. You pick up things over there that you normally wouldn't I guess when you have more downtime like that, or you're in a different country, you start to pick up more like different. I started to at least start to do more things that I would never do at home. That's what I liked about living in another country. It always pushed me to do things because I'm not gonna sit inside all fucking day and do nothing. You know what I mean?
That would kill you. That's the kind of the that was like that's kind of like the worst advice that if you're gonna stay somewhere long term, the best advice that I've heard is that just get out. Okay, just get out of the house because if you stay in there, you're gonna become like a hermit crab and you're gonna go crazy. The best is to go
Well,
out and explore.
that's why I was trying to get you out of the house when you broke your foot. I know it probably wasn't the best, but or you couldn't make it to the train station and stuff like that. But dude, there was no way I could stay fucking. There was no way I could stay in the house all day every day. I just can't do that, dude. I'll go fucking crazy, fool, and I can't sleep. It just drive. It gets my mind thinking too much, and it doesn't stop. It's weird. I. That's why I have to stay active, or I have to stay kind of going. And if I don't get enough each day, then it's like it doesn't calm me down. It's so weird, dude. I don't know.
I think that's kind of wired into kind of our psychology. Like in general, like men like to go outside of the house, you know, like just out and be out. I think that's
I can't stay inside all day, dude. That's
I,
insane to me.
I think that's where the statistics come
It's
from
like
because like
smoke break.
because men are likely to get assaulted, men are likely to get killed out on the street because we're out, we're active, you know. I think that comes from that hunting and gathering. I'm not sure. I could be completely wrong, but I think that comes from hunting and gathering. Men were always out, you know, finding food and shit.
That's very interesting what you just said.
Uh,
How people are always out and like how we like I always have been like that. I always like to get into mischief, dude. The shit's either gonna get me killed one day or something because I gotta stop doing it. You know what I mean? Like I
but I
like
think
to test. I like not really like I don't not so much as like in the street anymore and stuff. But like as far as that girl that I met in Amsterdam, I like to test that kind of stuff. I don't know why, because I just know like there's so much out there and like I always get lucky with weird ass random instances like that or meet like some super hot girl or something. It's just weird. It always happens to me.
that's because you know you're out most of the time. We're out, and we experience these random or seemingly random situations. Whereas, like I think with women, women like to be more comfortable. They don't like to go. They like to feel safe. That's what I think. I think that women like to feel safe, so they like to surround themselves in a safe environment, and that's being inside most often. You know.
I don't know. That one night was weird, dude. That night that we met those two Asian girls because or the night that I met that one Asian girl. I don't want to say anything because you're married. You didn't do anything, but the that was weird because a lot of guys were trying to talk to them, and then they just so happened to let us talk to them or whatever. Or
Yeah.
she let me talk to her or whatever. It was just I thought that was weird. I don't know.
Yeah. It was kind of sketchy at first
Well, yeah,
because
because
I
it's like why you're just shining all these guys off, and then you're just like down for. And I was trying. Wasn't I trying to get at some girls before that, kind of, or just
yeah.
kind of, but not really, right? But kind of, and they weren't. I don't know if they were really. I don't remember. I don't think they're really feeling it too much.
No, I think what happened was we went downstairs and then there was like we were kind of close to the bar. We were trying to get drinks first of all because it was like
It was
we were
packed.
thirsty. Yeah, it was packed. And then so we were kind of close to the bar, I remember, and there were other women there that we were trying to talk to or something like that. But then they kind of left or and then these two girls came and they were kind of like I don't know, they were oddly close to us for some reason. It was weird. Like
I remember. I
breathing.
just remember the one guy trying to talk to him. They were next to us, and the guys right there were trying to talk to him. She wasn't having it, and then she came over. Or somehow she ended up next to us, and then we just somehow started talking to her. I started talking to her or something. I don't fucking remember. I just remember that we started talking somehow, and I just remember specifically that we started talking somehow, and guys were trying to get at her, and she wasn't having it. I thought that's why I thought that was weird. But I didn't think it was that weird because that kind of shit always happens to me. Like I'll get the girl that like everybody's trying to get at or something, But then it doesn't happen around here in fucking San Dimas, dude. But then I can go to LA and get a super hot. Yeah, it's fucking weird, man.
Yeah, that is
Maybe
that
I
is
have
strange.
like maybe I have some kind of bad rap or something. I don't know.
Well, where
Because
are you
look,
meeting? Where are you meeting women though?
I'm not even
Mostly.
going out. I'm not even trying to meet girls right now. I'm not even going out right now. I was meeting them on dating apps, so I was just going out with random girls like a while ago. But
Yeah,
other than that, like I always meet girls when I travel. The girl in Italy when I travel, the girl in Spain when I travel, like all these girls when I travel, like or when I get outside my box. But I can't get outside my box all the time. I have two dogs and I got fucking, I'm stuck now.
I, I know what you mean. Yeah, but like for example, like well, anyway, like if you go to LA or something, where do you usually do you go to clubs or bars and try to meet or not try to meet women, or do you
No,
meet women at bars or clubs usually?
no, that's what I'm saying. I don't even go out anymore. I don't even have like friends I can go out with anymore like that. Really, like it's not like it used to be. Like I guess I could maybe plan, but it's just like I don't see it being worth it anymore in my eyes. That's where I'm at. Like if I really want to make my business work, I gotta be on my same shit every day. I ain't got time to be going to no clubs and fucking going to the bars and shit.
Yeah,
Like go
sure.
out once in a while, but to make it like a weekly thing or trying to meet somebody, like no, that's out the question. I'm gonna meet somebody, but it's like I gotta get ahead and I gotta fucking save a bunch of money. I want to get the fuck out of Pomona eventually. All that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
Well,
where I'm at. I don't really have time to be like.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, like you don't have time to kind of like get involved seriously with anybody, or meet somebody or fool around with somebody that you don't know if it's going to be sustainable or not for you, and what you want to do and what you want to accomplish. So you want to work more on yourself and get yourself accomplished, and therefore that, and then there you can meet like higher quality women, if I understand correctly. Because it's hard, man. It's hard. And dating's weird. Like you have to meet somebody, and then if you go on one or two dates and it doesn't work out, then you have to go and find another person and go on dates and see if that works out. And you don't know if any of these relationships are going to last, or if you're going to want to invest your time in somebody if you don't even know if you are really compatible with each other, especially in a place like Los Angeles, man, where everybody's on the go. Everybody's, you're in a rat race. You don't necessarily know if people are settling down. People have their own problems all the time, and LA is a crazy place like that. So let's see. Let's look at what's going on. Let's see. Let's look at some. Hey, 1-1. Nice. Arsenal drew 1-1. Chelsea lost. Let's look at EPL scores. English Premier Leagues. English Premier League Boxing Day results. Let's look at the scores real quick. Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 1, Sheffield United 1, Watford 1, Southampton 2, Chelsea 0. Oh, that's a big result for Southampton. Aston Villa 1, Norwich 0, Crystal Palace 2, West Ham 1. Oh, that's a big result for Crystal Palace. And right now, 5 minutes in, Manchester United, Newcastle 0-0. So let's look at the standings as they stand. Chelsea, Liverpool first, Leicester City second, Manchester City third, Chelsea fourth, Tottenham fifth. Oh, and after the Crystal Palace win, they are in 9th place, and Arsenal are in around the mid-table in 11th place. Man, the English Premier League is around Christmas time is the best time. That's when it's gonna decide who will probably win the league. Let's see. Let's go on. Let's go on to. Let's look at the weekend's matches. Let's look at Arsenal. Let's look at Arsenal. Oh, they play the next match. They play. They play on the first. No, they play in 3 days. So 3 days. Today is Wednesday. They play on the 29th on Sunday. Arsenal and Chelsea. That's going to be a big match. And then a couple days later they play Manchester United. So two big matches coming up for Arsenal. Hopefully we can get some kind of results. Both of them are at home. Hopefully at the Emirates they can produce some kind of results. So yeah, let's see. Let's go on. Oh,
Yo,
yeah. What's up, man?
you couldn't hear me or what?
No, I couldn't hear you.
Oh shit! I was wondering why you were going over the things. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, no problem. I don't know. Something was going on with the audio, so
No, I ran out fucking just to grab my mail and I forgot. Oh, I didn't even go up that far. But I could hear you. That's why I thought I would. Until you started talking about the games, and I was like, oh, this fucking can't hear me.
Yeah, no, I couldn't hear you, so I had to fill in the dead space.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's a podcast. You can do whatever you want.
This motherfucker keeps giving me mail for someone that lives here like 5 years ago. And I have to tell him like, all the time because I get like a new mailman every couple months. So it's like, dude, come on.
Well, they probably have the old address or the old person that lives at that house still in their system.
I wonder why that person never changed it though.
Oh, they probably just left and didn't care what happens.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man.
What were we talking about a second ago though? I was listening until you went on soccer stuff.
No, we were talking. Well, what I was talking about is what I was really interested in, and this is where I think that what I'm really interested in is why, for example, like in the U.S., we're talking about like making money and things like that, like and being professional. I think what tends to happen, and I've noticed this even when growing up, is people want to be something, but without putting in the work. So they want to be like the CEO, but they don't know what it takes to be the CEO. They want to be, or they know what it takes, but they don't want to put in the work. So, like for example, that's why I think people get jealous a lot. Like, look at Jeff Bezos, right? For example.
Oh, that makes sense. I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? Like Jeff Bezos, right? He's the billionaire at Amazon, right? And everybody hates that guy for some reason because he's the billionaire. He has all the money, and I don't have that money. Yeah, but nobody told you that you couldn't make your own Amazon. That was free for you to do. It's still free for you to do.
Yeah, you're right. I see what you're saying. Instead of hating on the guy who wants to go make your own thing.
Right. So everybody wants to be Jeff Bezos without being Jeff Bezos, or like not doing the work for it. They just want money. They just want to be the billionaire, but they didn't want to create anything. That happens to a lot of people, especially in the US. And I think that's where a lot of people get jealous of him and hate him, to be honest.
Yeah, he's not even the richest, dude. I saw a thing recently that said Putin's the richest.
Yeah, Putin probably the richest because he owns like oil fields and he controls like a lot of the energy that goes into Europe and things like that. And he has access to all of those like energy kind of. He makes a lot of money, I think, through energy, through like fossil fuels and things like that. I think, yeah.
That's gangster.
Yeah, that's gangster. You know what's gangster about Putin? I don't want to talk about him too much, but what's gangster about him is he was prime minister for like 8 years. And then they said, well, he can't be prime minister anymore because it's like, you can only be a prime minister for 2 terms,
Mm-hmm.
So he made himself like vice prime minister for 4 years. And then he became prime minister again after those 4 years. That's how gangster he is.
Dude, you know he did 20 years in jail? Prison?
Putin?
Yeah, look it up.
Let me see. Let's look.
Oh wait, maybe it's not him. Maybe it's the other guy. Something Putin or something. There's a documentary. The guy did like 20 years. No, maybe it is Putin. Look it up. See if he did.
Let's see. Well, let's look it up. Vladimir Putin prison. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Arrest of Vladimir Putin. Oh, let's look at it. But let's see. I don't know. Let's see.
No, see if he did 20 years when he was younger. Say,
Okay.
did he
Okay.
serve time when he was younger, in his younger
Okay.
days?
Okay. So let's see. Did
Before you heard of him, you know?
yeah. Did Vladimir spend time in prison? Let's look that up. Let's see. Oh, how long? What? Prison. I don't know if it was Vladimir Putin. Maybe, but
Maybe it's the other guy then. Somebody else. This is documentary.
what?
That
Do you know
was,
the name of the documentary, or you just happen to see it?
I have to pull it up, but I'm watching the game.
Oh, I see. Could have been this guy, but I don't know. I don't know if this name he'll recognize. Let's see. His name is Mikhail Borisovich Khodorkovsky. Who was he? Oh, let's see what he was. Oh, let's see. Early life, first business, Manatap, Yukos. Oh, I see. There was a banker, and this guy was a prisoner. But I don't think that's him. But this is a different guy in Russia. He was. It seems like this guy was a.
I'll look it up. We can talk about it next time.
Yeah, we can. That'd be interesting. But that's how gangster he is, man.
That is gangster.
That is gangster. I mean, but he decided that. He said, "Okay, I can't be prime minister. I'll be vice like something like a vice prime minister." And then he became a prime minister again. That's gangster. If he made that decision, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that is gangster, huh?
Yeah.
Hey.
Let's see. Yeah, because let's see. Let me look him up. Let me look him up really quickly. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, let's see. He's not that old. He's only 67. So yeah, he's a prime minister now, and or president, I guess. Yeah, president. He's the president, but he was prime minister. Then he was the first deputy prime minister. Yeah, so like a vice prime minister, and then now he's a president again. He's so gangster, man.
Yeah.
Spent his whole life in politics.
That'll get you there.
Yeah. And I think, let's see if I'm. And he was part of the KGB. That, like that Russian counterintelligence group, like the CIA. That's crazy. That's pretty gangster. You have to hand it to him. Nice. So
you don't have school for like 2 weeks, huh?
No. We're on excuse me, we're on Christmas vacation, my friend.
What do you do then?
Oh, we're just hanging out. We're just relaxing. We're going outside a little bit. We're just staying in.
It's somewhat cold over there though, so I can understand that.
Yeah, it's cold it's cold. Or we go for walks, or we go to sometimes we go to the pub or something like that. We don't do much now because we're just kind of recharging the batteries from school,
Oh, so I watched an interesting little documentary. I didn't watch the whole thing, but it's called Little Big Farmer. And it was about these people in Santa Monica that were wanted to open a big farm or like wanted to move out of the city. They lived in Santa Monica in an apartment. They ended up rescuing a dog. Someone had 200 dogs in their house in Ridgecrest. They ended up putting most of them down, but they took the one of them and kept it ever since. But they ended up getting a farm. They ended up getting backed by like these people with a bunch of money, moved up to like Mono County or something like that, and then made like a huge production farm. It was pretty interesting.
That is pretty interesting. What about those people who had those 200 dogs? Did they get like charged with like animal abuse or?
I don't know what the fuck happened to that dude. I'm tired of seeing that, dude. I just saw something right now that fucking this dog was barking too much, and he was like a transient guy, transsexual or some shit. And he
Right.
fucking the dog would he must have been homeless or something, but the dog would bark in this abandoned apartment place all the time, and it would screech and stuff, probably because it was fucking sad, dude. It was fucking scared, you know. And this fool skinned it, dude. They went to
Skinned it?
the yeah, dude, skinned it. I saw the picture, but people said San Francisco, but not. I think it was in Argentina. But he skinned the dog pretty much, not the whole thing, but pretty much from like the neck to like its back. Like not, you could see all of its organs and everything. It was disgusting, dude. Like,
Dude.
what's wrong, Steve? What would you do if you saw that? Seriously, you don't have to. Like if there was nobody around and you saw that, what would you
Dude,
do?
I would probably go and attack that person and like try to stop. I would try to save the dog, number one, if I could.
Wouldn't you just kind of snap? You think or no?
I don't know if I would snap because, like, for example, you have to be, but I would be like,
Like if they had
snap.
a weapon, yeah, I wouldn't just go right direct. I'd be looking for something real quick to fucking hit this one with or whatever. Like I'm gonna get, you know what I mean? I'm gonna get this dude real quick, get him off the dog.
Yeah, exactly. I would have to be smart about it. Like I would for sure I would definitely attack that person and try to save the dog. But, and put the and like restrain that person. That's what I would do for sure. Restrain that person.
Isn't that disgusting though?
Yeah, I don't know why you would do that to such a like an innocent animal, man.
The guy hates his life. It's his own problems. You know what I mean?
I know, but it's his own problem. That's true. But you don't have to. If you have a problem with your own life, why would you have to involve something as a
But
dog or
people do
something?
that because look at people
Innocent?
do that all the time with shootings nowadays. They're gonna go kill a bunch of other people instead of kill themselves.
Yeah, don't you? I was gonna. That's a good thing that you brought that up because, like, w- isn't that interesting? If it's like if that person, okay, think about it, right? These shootings, right? They're all similar, right? They kill a bunch of people and then they have to kill themselves, right? Now, I have a question about that, for example. Like, if you were involved in something like that, like your son or daughter or a friend who was a victim of a mass shooting, for example, and then that person you found out that that person eventually killed themselves. Like, for me, I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it. I wouldn't feel any type of closure, like,
What you mean if you killed people and then killed yourself?
no, not me. Like, if you were a part of it, like you were a victim of that,
Uh,
like you knew somebody who was shot by somebody in a mass shooting, and that person who did the shooting committed suicide, right? Like, I don't know if I would feel closure from that. Like, yeah, the person killed themselves and they're dead for sure, but I don't know. My friend is also dead. You know what I mean? I would be in this like weird gray space, kind of. I wouldn't know how
I
to
think that's
react.
just a weird period. You know what I was thinking about that? What you said though. I was thinking, what if it's because they don't want to die alone?
Oh, that's a good point.
Seriously, like they don't. Because think about it, like people fucking. It's hard to do your own thing and not have really any friends. And if you don't have a girl, like, and you do your own thing, like you're a pretty strong person, you know. You stick to it every day and fucking and wait until that comes or whatever. Like that's tough. Like, and that's what I've been kind of doing. Like, I haven't had a chick for a while. It's been a year now. I'm just
That's a
doing
good
my
point.
thing, and like think about like when you don't want to be lonely. You know what I'm saying? Like, no guy does. Like, but I'm not a bitch about it. I don't cry about it or shit like that. It's just more makes me more motivated to meet somebody or keep doing my thing so I can meet somebody eventually. To be able to do things that I want so I can meet somebody, whether it's traveling, whatever. Like that's where I'm trying to get to and where I'm gonna get. But it's like in those times that you fucking in those times that just think someone that's like super depressed or something, and I'm not even depressed. So think about someone that's super depressed and having those thoughts times 10. They're gonna want to go kill a bunch of other people because they don't want to die alone, and then they're gonna kill themselves because it makes them feel better. Maybe I don't know.
That's a good point. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I do know that if that person is already in that state where what I'm thinking is if they're in that state where they have, if that's the only option, that they have to go and kill a whole bunch of people, right? I mean, that to me, that's a mental health issue for me. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the person is crazy. I think that person didn't get the right kind of uh um therapy or the right kind of
See, but I don't understand because like there's signs for that shit, dude. Like when we went to school, we were always like, oh, that feels kind of like weird, you know, or like there's something weird about that guy, or like you never even just crossed somebody that you met and you're like, dude, there's something weird about that fool. You're telling me that there's something weird like that, and they're act. That's what they always say later in the news or the shootings or whatever. They always come to find out that this fool was weird or like he was showing signs of things. I don't want to say weird, right? That's me, but I'll say just acting different or out of character, and like people just shine that shit off, dude.
yeah, like they kind of just they notice that maybe this person is acting kind of standoffish or something, and then they just brush it off like, oh, that person's just having a bad day, and then they don't like follow up on it, and then you find out that in the news that, oh, this person did this horrible act, and you know, then it gets into a debate between, Second Amendment, keeping your rights to have weapons, and then mental health issue. But the mental health issue always gets swept under the rug because I think they dismiss it. They just say, oh, this person was crazy. Yo, maybe so, but maybe not, because
First,
you made a
dude,
good point.
first off, fucking those guns shouldn't be available, and those kids shouldn't be able to get them that easily. That's the parents' fault or whoever is fucking in charge of that shit. That is not on the. I'm just saying that whether I'm for guns or not, that's not. That's on the fucking person that's in charge of the guns' fault. Those kids can't go purchase the guns, so get the fuck out of here. And most of no, those kids aren't thugs, dude. I haven't heard of one thug shooting up a school like that. Have you?
No.
One black guy, one thug that actually really carries a gun? No. The fuck out of
No.
here with that, dude. These kids are stupid fucking either white kids or whatever. I don't even want to put a race on it, but whatever. And they get their guns from their parents, dude. They know where their parents' guns are, and then they steal them, and then they load up and they go. There's no other way that they can get them.
Yeah, I think that's why I think it's I don't know. I think from my view, kind of, I think it's a lack of, number one, it's a lack of gun education, right? So I think it's a lack of gun education where we don't know how to handle guns. We do. I know. This is going to sound like a blanket statement, but I think, like, in general, a lot of people haven't even been close to firearms, what they can do, how powerful they are.
Yeah, but
What
all you need to know is it fucking shoots a bullet and it'll kill you if you shoot at somebody. What more do you need to know? You know. Like
Yeah,
this will kill. It's not a video game, dude. This will kill somebody. It's only to be used if your life's in danger and in last resort. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be carrying it with you. Shit like
that's a
that.
good point. That's a good point.
Those are
I
the
think
things that need to be instilled, not all this other garbage that they put on the TV. And you let your kid watch all these movies where people are going and shooting up people like it's cool, like all that shit, dude.
yeah, I don't think also that it's a problem about how to explain it. Like, for example, it's not like it's okay. Video games are cool. Like, for example, Call of Duty, right? I don't think it's an influence of Call of Duty per se that it makes people more violent. There's not been studies that actually is the case, that people become more violent from video games. But what I think it does, if you expose yourself to games like Call of Duty or Battlefield or all these first person shooter games, what I think it does is that it desensitizes you from uh, death and weapons. And I think the reason why it does that is because in those games, when you die, you respawn and you get to go again, right? So it's not like you die and then you stop playing. You can always keep playing until the round ends. And I
So you
think,
don't really think much of death, or you don't take
yeah,
it into
exactly.
account as serious.
Yeah, you don't think something so serious, right? And
I
then you
agree
find
with
out,
you.
yeah, and then you figure it out
You
that
you
life, you don't get a respawn. You know what I mean? Theoretically, of course.
The only thing I'll say about that, I would agree with you on that, except the fact that I watched that documentary on the Rockstar game, and it was that kid that played that game that ended up going out and shooting a bunch of people and like actually played the game. Like he was in the game because he played it so much. Because people, not everybody's as smart. Why do you think they have DUI? And it's not for the normal person. It's that they made those rules up for. You know what I mean?
Sure, I agree.
Does that make sense? So like, not everybody's gonna go out and shoot somebody, and most people will know that this is just a video game, and blah 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 to the extent that you just talked about. But most people are gonna be like, all right, it's just a video game. I play it like I do. Looking at it more than that, yeah, it might desensitize you just like movies do as far as violence and gore because they've gotten worse. So like, where I've seen that shit in person though, dude. Like living in Pomona, the full fucking girls stabbing each other and stuff. So I've seen that stuff, dude, and it's me as much, but that's only because I've seen that stuff a lot or grew up kind of around this stuff. Not like as much as like growing up in the hood for your whole life or whatever, or South Central or something. But I've seen a lot of stuff, and like, yeah, it does. It makes you not as. It just makes you like emotionless towards that or like shit like that, or like, it's weird, man. Just like I don't know.
Yeah, but, like you don't feel sad. No, sorry.
Yeah, and it has done that to me. So think about people going in and out of jail, dude. No wonder they're hard like that, and they are the way they are because they've seen a lot of shit, and it is what it is, Most people don't see that, so they're like, they can't relate to that. But realistically, like, if you can get through all that and you don't have to be a hard motherfucker, but just you've been through that, and like that. I want to get back to what I was saying about the video game, but that guy went out and shot. So a lawyer was trying to sue Rockstar over that stuff, and they were going back and forth. But they came up with this guy did a study where it actually changes the brain waves or whatever to make you think like or actually simulate like the game for some people or something like I forgot, it was something like that I think, and that's what they were saying. Not everybody's smart enough to like know the difference or know like that's not good or like reality versus video game if you play it too much. So I don't know, I don't know, dude. It's just fucking. It's sad that shit, something like that would.
That's an interesting point, yeah, and I think and I guess that comes down to what kind of mental state that you're in at that point when you're involving yourself or engaging yourself with that, because like if you're involved like with playing video games and you're staying inside playing video games, I agree with that you're going to kind of mix the two, kind of reality and virtual reality, kind of like, for example,
we just get stuck in the video game mode,
Yeah, and have you ever? I don't know if you've ever played video games, but sometimes when you play video games and you lose, you get frustrated that you're losing because you think that you're like good at the game, and then when you start losing or you're on the losing streak, it's like you get frustrated. And I think then after you stop playing, I still think you're in that heightened sense of frustration, maybe. And I think that's where like interesting things can happen after that. I'm not sure, but I would like to. It's a kind of an interesting psychological topic, and it's like, for example, there was this incident, like when South Park first came out, right? And in every episode, South Park dies, and in the next episode, he comes back to life. So it was something similar to your story about the Rockstar game. So the boy thought he was Kenny, and he killed himself because he truly thought that he would come back to life the next day.
Oh, maybe he did. Maybe that's what he thought. They never even said in that documentary, but that could be a good point, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, he said, "Oh, Kenny comes back to life all the time."
They don't care about that. Once that fool killed all those people, then he was a bad person. They didn't care to know. He got the death sentence or something, where he went to jail for life or something. I forgot. Like, no remorse. Well, also, dude, that's what I'm saying. It's a trip because, like, did you ever hear that story about that kid off topic? But, like, did you ever hear that story about that kid that got molested by the '80s or something.
Oh, I heard about something
And then
about that.
the dad was waiting for the guy when they were bringing him out of the courtroom. The dad was waiting with the hat on, like he was at the phone booth, and he just turned around and shot that guy and killed him. He sure
I
that
heard something.
molested his right in front of all the fucking cops, everything right on TV. I saw it years
What
ago, and
happened?
it just resurfaced again.
What
Nothing,
happened to the
fool. All the
guy?
fucking he got 5 years of probation, 300 hours of community service. That was it.
That's not so.
Because
That's not that
everybody
bad of a
sided with.
sentence.
It's
Yeah.
because everybody sided with him. But if you did that nowadays, what would happen? You'd probably go to jail for murder.
Yeah, for sure. See, that's
That's
like
what I'm saying. That's crazy that he got away with that.
yeah, it is crazy that he got away with that because like
He did it in front of everybody. Murdered the guy right there. Shot him in the head, dude. The guy dropped right there to the ground. Killed
now
him.
see that's
Shot him in the
interesting.
head.
That's an interesting point because what do you do, right? Because you know that that guy is doing something terrible to your son, but that doesn't really warrant you to murder him either. You know, it's like it's weird. It's weird.
What would you do?
I don't know. I think I would be close to. I would think I would be close to that dad, but I would think I wouldn't shoot anybody on live TV or in front of everybody. No, no, no. But I would make sure that that guy
Maybe
gets.
wait till the day. Wait till
Yeah.
the day he gets out of prison and kill that fool.
Well, I don't know if I would kill that guy, but I would definitely do something that he wouldn't get out of prison for a long, long time.
I don't
That,
think I can kill somebody unless my life is in my danger, but definitely would beat the shit out of that fool. Like, no joke, dude. No joke. You know what I mean?
yeah, for me too. No joke. Because,
That'd be crazy, dude.
but it's an interesting question, right? Because then it's like, you beat the guy up. Okay, you'll suffer the consequences. Fine, but the consequences are more severe if you killed that person.
Yeah, I'd go to jail for a little bit for beating up the guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. 6 months, that's fine. I'll do my time. Beat the fuck
Yeah,
out of that
exactly.
fool. Do my time. And that's it. And that's it. Never do anything again or anything close to that. You know. But
Exactly, because you knew that would give you closure, right?
fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Otherwise every
exactly.
day you want to be thinking to yourself like, damn, I'm gonna let this fool do this to my kid. Like, no way, dude. I would never. That would bother me till my deathbed.
That would be mental torture for me, man.
Not even the fact that like it's the fact that just would be the fact that he's a kid, dude, and he's fucking he can't defend
Well, you would
himself or you tricked him or whatever. Like, no, you manipulated him. Like, no.
you would know
He's
that the power is still on in that person's favor, that he's hanging this thing over your head, that he's done something uh, something so terrible to your son or to your kid or daughter, and that you aren't able to do anything about it. So then he hangs that
Yeah,
over your head.
nah, all right. You want to know what? You know what I would probably do? I'm just thinking about it. I didn't even think about it. So now, honestly, dude, if my kid told me that, I'd just pull up to that place that day and probably beat the shit out of him and go to jail or both of us or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, I would just go down there or whatever that day. I wouldn't wait for him to get arrested. Fuck that.
No, no, no. Yeah, exactly.
Get arrested with him and then go to jail and fuck that fool up again. No, they put him in PC, so you wouldn't even be close to that fool. You'd be able to protect custody.
or, or, or what would be fucked up is if they put you in the same prison cell. Oh, dude.
That would never happen though, because he's a fucking
I
child
know.
molester. So,
I know.
but if you went in there, no. But if you went in there and then you told everybody in there, like this will fuck with my son, that'd be a whole different story. Then everybody would be on board to kill that fool, guaranteed. They're not with all that in there.
No, of course. I've heard many stories that if you're like a child molester or do anything with kids and you go to prison, the chances of you surviving, I don't know the statistics, but I don't want to but I think it's very low. I think nobody, like not many people fuck with that in prison. Okay, they might murder somebody, they might
No.
rape somebody, but when it comes with kids or minors, they don't fuck with that.
Who does it?
Yeah.
No, they don't fuck with that at all. Dude, this will score a banger for Manchester United. Wow.
Wait, let's look at the score.
Newcastle, I like Newcastle too.
Yeah, Newcastle's pretty sick. Newcastle, Man United,
This will
Newcastle.
score a banger though, dude. They've been shooting and missing a bunch. I knew.
2-1.
You see? Oh, you're watching right. You're watching right now.
I'm not watching it, but
You
let's
see the
see.
replay?
Let me see.
Dude. This
Let's
goal scores a banger.
Let me put it on. Let's see. First.
It hit the top crossbar and bounced.
Nice. From how far out?
Top of the fucking 18.
Nice. Let's see. That's close.
And it was dipping down. Dude, that was nice. It came up and then dipped down right under kind of a little bit. We're starting to dip down. So if you would have hit it from farther,
Okay,
it still made it.
Here we go. Here it is. The replay. Oh.
That's a nice shot.
From the left foot. Oh.
Yeah.
What a hit.
Banger, huh?
Yeah, man. The keeper had no chance to save that.
No. And it was. Did you see how it was dipping down? That shot was beautiful.
Yeah, it was like raising, but at the last minute it dipped down.
Yeah, that's so if you would have hit it a little farther out, it probably still would have made it.
Yeah, because it was dipping, and if it was farther, he wouldn't have hit the crossbar. It would have been a goal, like clean. But because he was so close, it hit the crossbar, and because it's dipping, it hit the crossbar and went straight down.
Dude, that's crazy. So, if you watch these guys, like, man, I tend to forget how much, like, man, all this shit, dude. How much goes into soccer? It's crazy.
Do you ever watch the games from a different perspective, like yeah, as a fan? But do you watch it like like how the situations are and what the mindset is and how the players are, passing and why they're passing and why they're doing things that on the field or on the pitch than others? You know what I mean? Like, do you ever watch the games like in that way?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
No, it's very. It's just very. These fools are. That's what I'm saying, dude. I know what it takes because I'm sure you do too, because you played at a high level, so you know what it takes to. You know what it takes for a picture to be one of those players. Whether you are or not, you at least know because you've been at least played with players around that, played on the team, or playing in Europe or whatever. You just know. You know. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we've been around it, so we know.
That's fucking very crazy because I don't know.
Yeah, like for example, have you ever seen like like if you're watching YouTube videos where like Cristiano Ronaldo is dribbling down the field at full speed, right? He's dribbling at full speed towards the goal, and somebody comes out of nowhere and tries to nick the ball away, but also kicks him, and then he does those, and then he falls down and he's maybe not injured, but he's in pain. And sometimes you read the comments oh, he's just flopping, or it's not that bad. And fuck no, you're running at full speed and somebody just tries to kick you as hard as they can. That shit hurts, dude.
Not only that, and their fucking metal cleats.
That I never agreed with.
That's what people tend to forget, dude. Europe is metal.
Yeah, it's metal, dude. Yeah,
but it's that grass. Have you ever played on that grass? The closest thing we probably with you was in Czech when we practiced on that field, and then even probably when you played on against Slava Prague or whatever.
Yeah. But I played on it.
Yeah.
It's soft. It's soft, and it's not muddy, but it's not soft. It's not hard either. So your foot kind of sinks a little bit. But what makes it nice is
so you need cleats like that.
Yeah, because it gives you that perfect traction. But I disagree with that. I think at the professional level, I think they should not have metal cleats. I think it's too dangerous for the players. I mean,
That's
I've
only in
seen
Europe, though. They don't have that in here.
I think that's good because I've seen too many tackles where the guys they go with studs up, man, and they just crunch bones, dude. It's so dangerous. I don't agree with
Fuck
it.
that.
Yeah,
No, I do.
I never liked metal studs. I think they should be outlawed from the game. It's too dangerous.
I would agree with you. I haven't seen too many injuries with that, but the ones that I have seen are disgusting.
Yeah, man. And because you know that that person's going into look, because you're going into the attempt to injure that person and you're going in with metal cleats, dude, that you're gonna fuck that person up, possibly end their career. And if you're a professional who's trying to make a career for yourself and you're gonna end somebody's career, that's not fair. That's inappropriate. You know what I mean?
See, but I don't
You're
know.
both
I don't think. Sorry.
no, they're doing both the same thing, trying to make a career, and you're gonna end that person's career. Oh, come on.
I don't think. Man, oh shit! They scored again. I don't. Dude, over in Europe, they don't try to hurt you as much as they do here. They just play hard, right?
Yeah, they
But
play
in
hard.
America, fucking, I think they just try to hurt you. And one goes for Christian Jimenez. You don't remember Christian Jimenez that we used to play with in high school?
I remember.
Team and everything. Okay, so remember he
Yeah, I remember.
went to the Chivas and then like kind of had a rough road because then he tore his where he got hurt in practice. One of the guys hurt him in practice,
Right.
and then ever since then it was just worse since then. Um, but like look at that case or that. You don't hear that too much.
No, you don't hear about that too much.
They might play hard, and hard might get hurt, but not if you get used to the play and you keep up, then you'll be fine. That's if someone's actually coming in side tackling you and trying to hurt you, or actually trying to hurt you, like almost like Mexico, dude, where it's almost like I know it's a serious thing in Europe too, but they don't take it like where
But there's a
it's
difference. There's a
not like
difference in play.
respect. There's some form of respect for the game. I don't think Mexicans have a respect for the game too much. I think this players and like it is their game. That's kind of fucked up to say, but that's how I've always felt when I've always played in the leagues. You can too. You always hated playing in those leagues.
Yeah, man. Because I think what happens is when you start to outplay them, the only thing that they resort to is injuring you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they can't outplay you. So that's the best thing they can do. So that's why I liked when we were playing in that one league where every or almost every foul it was like a straight red card. Because it's the only way you can stop it. You
Which one
know?
was that?
I think it was in Baldwin Park or I don't remember. But it was like
Oh, La Puente Ball Park.
yeah, La Puente, that's it. And every foul was a red card almost. And that was the way it stopped because then you could see that the play got better. Because if you talk to them, talk to the players, give them a warning, give them a yellow, that doesn't mean anything. You're injured almost. You know what I mean? So you give the person a red card, they lose a player. And nobody wants to lose a player. And if you get 4 red cards, 5, you can't play anymore. You know? So you go home. And everybody likes to play the game, so then give everybody a straight red card, and you keep the game cleaner. You know.
I don't even know why people play like that. That's why I don't play in those leagues. I'd rather not play ever again than play in those leagues. Straight up.
Yeah, because it's not worth it.
Fuck no, dude. That shit's horrible. It's horrible soccer, number one. And number two, that you're going to get hurt.
Yeah, that's
or you're going to get in a fucking fight.
Those 3 things. So is it like, and you're paying for it in the end, you know? So you're paying for yourself to get hurt. You're paying yourself to get in a fight, and you're paying yourself to, you know, play bad football. I mean, that's brilliant.
It's just the way they run these leagues out here, and the way it's run, and
yeah, I know.
That sucks, dude. It's like that. It sucks. We come from fucking California, Los Angeles, California. And we like maybe now it's better, but as far as these systems of playing, they're trash, dude. Because in Europe, it's like even the lower levels are fucking have nice fields and fucking a place to play, and practice fields. And, you know what I mean? Out here,
Yeah,
you got so many buildings and shit. There's nowhere to even fucking can't even go practice anywhere. And then you even want to go train anywhere, you probably got to hop the gate at thing. And then if you don't get in
right.
trouble, or you got to maybe go to a college, or you got to go to some shitty ass park if it's not occupied by some team or somebody already taking it over. It's like, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, there's not a lot of places to do training on your own in that way.
I mean, you can train anywhere, especially more experienced guys. But I'm just saying. But if you really want to train on the field and you running and drills and stuff, it's like, where is there really?
Not too many places.
Not
There's not that many.
really,
I
right?
mean, not really. I mean, I think it's getting better as far as the development, but I don't know. You have to have the leagues have to be sanctioned by like a governing body, so that when you have a problem, you can complain to like to the board of directors, and that way you can have the league improve on its own like that. But if you have a league where you pay like I don't know $20 to play, and somebody just kind of puts it together, and something bad happens, who are you going to complain to? Either you pay and play, or don't pay and go home.
Don't play.
Yeah,
Don't pay and don't
exactly.
play.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just
The
go
choice,
home.
the choice is yours.
Yeah, exactly. I
Man.
think that's fair, and I think it's okay.
Yeah, I would agree.
Man,
The good days, but
those were the days, man. All right, so let's see. Oh, 3-1. Oh, the big match. The big match is coming up. Leicester versus Liverpool. That is going to be. I think that this match can decide who is going to win the EPL this week, this year.
hold on. When is that on?
At 9 o'clock, my time. So in 2 hours.
Hold up. This game's fucking over. Oh no, Pogba's going in. Why was he not starting?
I don't know. Pogba's
Oh,
career
he's
at
half.
Manchester United has been rocky, man.
Oh hell no. He's fucking didn't start.
No, no, no. He doesn't start.
Holy crap! Really?
Really,
What?
he
That's
doesn't start.
crazy, dude.
Something with his attitude or something. I don't know.
Shut the fuck up, really?
Yeah, man. But he's a baller, dude. He's a baller.
No, that's why I'm tripping out. They don't start him.
No, they don't start him.
Like I said, no, not at all. It's like,
No,
what the
no.
fuck you mean, dude? That's insane.
I don't know. Something with the management. I mean, it's not. It has nothing to do with his skill. It has to do with something with his attitude. They say. I don't know.
He's still playing, though.
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't start hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah. Leicester City versus Liverpool. That game will decide. That game will decide.
Oh,
If Liverpool's in first and Leicester's in second.
I'm sorry.
So
Yeah, right.
yeah, so if Leicester wins, they'll still be in second, but they'll close the gap. They'll close the gap to 7 points, and that's not that hard to overcome. But now at 10, because Liverpool have 49 points and Leicester City has 39, that's a big gap. So I don't know. I think this would be like a, I would say, kind of the league decider, kind of. So let's see. Let's starting. Let's see, Man United. Let's look at it. So let's look. Stats. Let's look at the stats. Let's look at the lineups. Paul Pogba is. Oh, here's a rumor. Rumor from the Sun. I don't know if it's true. Man United willing to sign off Paul Pogba transfer to Real Madrid for £85 million. Oh, that could be. Oh, that could be interesting. So yeah, man. So I think that today, I think we can wrap up the podcast for today, and I want to get your final thoughts on if you have any last minute thing to say before we close the podcast out, because I think I'm about to have some dinner. I'm gonna get some food. I am hungry, and Drew, if you got anything last thing to say
I'm good.
to end the podcast with.
Um, oh, Leicester City wins.
Oh, you think Leicester City's gonna win?
I don't know.
They could.
But,
So enjoy the rest of your day, man, and
you too. I'll talk to you soon. Or Sunday. I'll
yeah,
talk to
yeah,
you Sunday.
on Sunday, man. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining me on the podcast, and we'll go live on Sunday.
All right, man. Have a good day.
All right, man. Thanks.
All right, bye.